Are we on the air? Yes. Good morning, everybody. I'm reporting from Fredericksburg, Virginia, at their small college, University of Mary Washington, and their student residence, Madison Hall. It is some 50 degrees brisk outside, partly cloudy, and wait a minute. A storm seems to be breaking out. Is this a temporal storm? It sounds like a noise is being emitted, like bad brakes on a screeching car. No. Wait, is that the doctor in his blue box? Nope. It's Barbara Kingsolver writing about another one of her imagined geographies. In her novel, The Poisonwood Bible, Barbara Kingsolver sets the scene in an imagined Congolese village. Along with her self-created Congolese village, Kingsolver has written about imaginary towns such as Grace, Arizona, in her book Animal Dreams, and Pittman, Kentucky, in her book The Bean Trees. In each of these imagined geographies, as stated by Kristen Jacobson in her critical essay Imagined Geographies, such fictionalized geographies at best turn indigenous cultures into local color, perpetuating hurtful, ugly stereotypes. Have you seen the people characterized in her novels? I mean, look at that student. Are we even still in the USA? Did you see the squirrel? There was a squirrel. Therefore, the geography and culture within Kingsolver's imagined geography. Oh, this is horrible, isn't it, coming in?
No! Keep going! Why are you stopping? You want me to get the squirrel when I said student? When you said look at that student?
Yeah.
Okay, go from look at that student. We'll cut it. So go from look at that student.
I don't know how to cut it.
I should be able to do it.
Okay. But there's...
Or Eric can help you. Eric does his thing all the time.
Look at that squirrel. I mean student. Look at that student.
You should keep that.
Therefore, the geography and culture within Kingsolver's imagined geographies are only a backdrop to the plot of her intended geopolitical representation, such as the imagined setting in Animal Dreams, Grace, Arizona, connecting a fictionalized local setting with real global concerns, similar to the Phelps Dodge Arizona mining strike. Well, it looks like in this utopia world, their geopolitical issue is about the invasion of squirrels and the retaliation of the natives with biochemical warfare, such as smallpox. Seriously, look at those lumps on that thing. I don't know where he went, but just want to let you know. I thought the colonizers were the ones who spread the disease to the natives, not the other way around, where the invaders are contracting the deadly disease of the natives. Kingsolver is known for her stylistic use of spatio-temporal technique in her representations of historical geopolitics, along with other writers such as William Faulkner, with his characterization of the town Yoknapatawpah County. Where are we? Okay. Toni Morrison, with his characterization of the towns Haven and Ruby, Oklahoma. I mean Oklahoma. What? Toni Morrison's a woman?
Oh my god!
I think I have to start this over. This is bad.
It's not bad. You just need to cut it.
We need to cut it. So keep going.
Well, just keep going, and then we can watch it, and then we can figure out what we can salvage and what we need to do again.
Where am I? Okay. Kingsolver is known for her stylistic use of spatio-temporal technique and her representations of historical geopolitics, along with other writers such as William Faulkner, with his characterization of the town Yoknapatawpah County. Toni Morrison, with her characterization of the towns Haven and Ruby, Oklahoma, in her novel Paradise, and Louis Erdrich with his characterizations of the town Argus, North Dakota, all of which are fictional places, as stated by Jacobson. Kingsolver says, Pittman, Kentucky, one of the settings in her novel, The Bean Trees, is a very real place of the kind that can't be found on a map. Its character and people are consistent with that which you'd find in any number of small towns in east central part of Kentucky, including the one where she grew up. It exists in your heart and your imagination, so long as its truth sustains you from page to page, while a new way of looking at the world settles in beside you. It's true enough. In Kingsolver's statement above, she explains the concept known as spatio-temporal utopia, coined by David Harvey, which is literally a tool that shapes the fictional local geopolitics of the geographical natives by introducing other foreign geopolitics. In the words of Nicholas Spencer, quoted in Jacobson's essay, Kingsolver's fiction crafts critical spaces, like spatio-temporal utopias, that imagine alternatives to social domination, like any other historically colonizing population, Spain, France, Britain, USA, conquering historically subjected groups such as Aztecs, Nigerians, and Native Americans. As stated by Kingsolver, her purpose for writing is to report on the likes of liberty, equality, and world peace on the extremely domestic level. Thus, Kingsolver's fiction engages the translocal home and redefines conventional American domesticity's boundaries by explicitly and self-consciously locating home within national and global political context. This means that Kingsolver portrays politics within the character's home where the local environment of the novel is set. Therefore, whether the protagonist in Barbara Kingsolver's novels are leaving or returning home, their travels carefully situate them within real histories and political geographies. However, Kingsolver's geopolitical positions and historical storytelling are paradoxically paralleled to make no accurate depiction of events relative to the native population in which the setting is placed. This makes us wonder, when critically analyzing her novels, whether she is accurately depicting any historical trueness in correspondence to the afflicted people of her imagined geographies. In a critical essay surveyed on the Poisonwood Bible, William Purcell analyzes the depiction of Africans in the Congo. He notes that Kingsolver uses two cultural examples to define the Congolese people. Therefore, Kingsolver is stereotyping and essentializing a continent that is home to hundreds or even thousands of diverse cultures, which creates an undifferentiated cultural monolith. However, other critics have noticed, such as Koza, that the Poisonwood Bible is primarily a novel about America, not the Congo, and follows an apparent pattern of cultural appropriation begun in Kingsolver's earlier novels. Therefore, as Jacobson states, the previous example that patterns Kingsolver's depiction of the local people only verifies that Kingsolver, at best, turns indigenous cultures into local color, and represents more acutely the political agenda that Kingsolver hopes to illuminate about America rather than the Congo. However, in Purcell's critique, his mentions that Kingsolver may have stolen cultural information from the Igbo depicted in Chinua Achebe's novel Things Fall Apart, and John's text Matu, where they represent the cultural traditions of twins and infant death. As Purcell quotes in his text, twin pregnancies, often treated in healing rituals involving Ngoma drum therapy in order to enhance successful birthing and the survival of healthy children, and twins were treated with different respects. They, along with other persons of abnormal birth, such as albinos, could use... let's redo that. As Purcell quotes in his text, twin pregnancies often were treated in healing rituals involving Ngoma drum therapy in order to enhance successful birthing. And twins were treated with deference because they, along with other persons of normal birth, such as albinos, could use their supposed supernatural power to somehow afflict people who incur their displeasure. And in several Congolese cultures, they beseech deceased children to return to the mother's womb. In contrast to these examples, Kingsolver co-aligns Nigerian tradition with those of the Congolese people in her novel by changing their praise of twins and infant death to fearful superstition borrowed from the native Nigerian people. However, during an interview with Kingsolver, conducted by the NPR Talk of the Nation, Many of the callers explained that Kingsolver duplicated the sights, the smells, and the sounds of Zaire, as they had personal experience in the real-life African locations. In conclusion, whether we see Barbara Kingsolver's novel as stereotyping and essentializing Africans into an undifferentiated cultural monolith, or capturing the sights, smells, and sounds of Zaire, Kingsolver undoubtedly does create a fictional town with her use of geopolitical and spatio-temporal techniques. This mastery may subject a false representation of a population's cultural history, but it does not neglect representing the social and political history. This can be also said for Mary Washington. Kingsolver may neglect to fully represent the student population with tumored swirls, but she will still live up to the expressing the social struggles and political tensions within the historical context of the town of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and the historical war that occurred there. And as I'm a novice weatherman, I will conclude with the citations of my sources verbally. I give special thanks to Kristen Jacobson and her contribution with the critical essay, Imagine Geographies, William Purcell and his contribution with the critical essay, Barbara Kingsolver's The Poisonwood Bible and Essentializing Africa, a Critical Double Standard, and the National Public Radio, Talk of the Nation, and their contribution with the interview of Barbara Kingsolver and her discussion of her new book. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you will join us next week for the authorial weather forecast of the nation.